G'day listeners, welcome to Bar Karate, the sailing podcast. My name's Jordan Spencer and it's that time of the week where we get to hang out with some really cool sailors, but of course I have to share the microphone with my two idiot mates. So first off, let's welcome Mr. Brett Perry.
Greetings, exalted one.
BP.
Oh, evening, bit of a rush, but we made it. We made it. Kids everywhere, food, you know how it goes.
No, I don't have kids.
No, right, yeah.
Never left a forwarding address.
Bicey, you know how it goes. Just, anyway. All good. All good. How are you?
Oh, good, better than you, mate. Hang on, let's bring in the other bloke.
He had a voice that could make a wolverine purr.
Mr. Nick Bice.
I certainly do know how it goes, and there's no better timing for finish off our week with a bit of bar karate on a Sunday evening, ready for our avid listeners. And I must admit, I time it pretty nicely. The wife doesn't listen to this. But bedtime, just got to head off, do bar karate.
Wow.
Hey, gents, you might see I'm a little bit windblown today. We had the One Design racing today here in Adelaide. Had the Etchel out. Just
One Design?
Just finally, well, yeah, the Etchels, no Mold 11s down here, so it is One Design, correct?
Yeah. Jesus, you're going to get yourself into serious trouble, Bicey.
Mate, you asked for it. But, just finalising our Nationals campaign for the season on the mighty stretch, myself, Kaylin and Dunny dropped the pipe over the side, gents. Side stay, the bottom of the side stay fitting just popped off and just laid her over.
Wow.
So the cutties in all sorts of drama.
Disarray.
The rig itself, it was a soft rig. It's even softer now.
Wow.
She didn't break, but she's fully bent.
And canning rig now, mate.
I got to tell you, though, we were on fire, pretty much on fire. We probably would have won the Nationals. But a little birdie tells me, not only a little birdie, but I think it will be official by the time most people listen to this, that the Australian Etchel National Championships is off. It is not going ahead in Adelaide as scheduled.
Wow.
So we're seeing as much as we take I certainly do take the piss out of the whole Mold 11 thing and where Etchels are going and it's going to court, but we are now starting to see some serious ramifications. And this being one of them. A Nationals Championship not going ahead due to episodes that took place more than a decade ago, unfortunately. So, yeah. Rips your sack in half, I've got to tell you.
That's a big consequence, you know.
From many angles, Bicey, many angles, because we were there, we were coming down, everything was organised.
Wow.
No.
Wow.
He even had the spot in the caravan park.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, it's
In fact, even had the caravan.
bit of a ball ache, but in saying that, and given, the way we were looking and given we dropped the pipe over and I'm sure we could have fixed it all in time, but it's all playing into our hands once again.
Yep. Pre-planned. All the destiny is unfolding.
Nice positive spin. Wow. Well, there you go. Don't sail in Etchels by the sounds of it.
Yeah. Mate, so you've sailed in the Port River, Jordan. You've sailed in the Port River.
Is that where you were?
And in 20 plus knots, piping down the Port River there, like in a massive incoming tide, that's some good fun in an Etchel in 25 knots.
Yeah.
We had the VXs starting with us. I've got to tell you,
what?
They are cool little machines.
Yeah, they are.
Cool little machines.
Yeah, they'd light up downwind, just 25 knots. So on that flat water, they'd be doing 25 knots.
Well, they light up down, but they bloody they only just make it down to the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
So they're going to jibe about 1,000 times.
Yeah. They'll arrive at the same time as you, but, they've sailed twice.
No. Pretty much upwind, about the same speed. Different angles, obviously. Yeah. Downwind, gone. Launched.
Oh, in that wind speed, yeah.
Yeah.
They're just so much fun. Good fun. Oh, it's good. It's good. Well, the past and the future next to each other on the race course. Harsh.
But true.
I'm only joking, any actuals, but it's really sad to hear that the Nationals not going ahead. It's been that is tough, combination now that we've all sort of opened up and people, it's just too late.
Everything that's gone on, that obviously WA not opening is a massive one.
Yeah.
Because that is a whole heap of it. But in saying that, a lot of the WA fleet are Mold 11 anyway, so
yeah,
they wouldn't have been allowed to come. But now we're seeing the massive fallout.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. Oh, well.
Despite us taking the piss, and by all means, that's not aimed at any of the owners at all. It's just
having fun
culmination of some pretty bad times.
Anyway,
carry on, we shall.
All right.
Onwards and upwards.
All
What's on tonight?
Well, we've got an amazing guest tonight. Like I must admit that it's true royalty tonight. The sort of person that, can you imagine being this guy, like when you walk into a boat park? Do you reckon people just roll red carpet out?
Not only a boat park, but sailing itself.
Yeah.
We're not exactly, well, not us personally, but sailors themselves aren't exactly recognised just walking down the street like a rock star, right? This guy walking down Queen Street, absolute rock star.
Yeah.
And people
in the real definition of the term.
People would recognise him. He's been responsible, like single-handedly almost, you would argue, to New Zealand's yachting success for a good number of years. Yeah. So, well, take it away, Jordan.
Let me introduce him. So, our guest tonight is fresh from winning the TP52 Worlds, has been to the Olympics multiple times, did the America's Cup 7 times, won it 6 times, wherever he went, the America's Cup went with him. So we are truly pumped and extremely grateful to have on the show Murray Jones.
Oh, thanks for having me along. Be a bit of fun, have a chat for a while. Yeah.
It's the great gift to podcasts at the moment. You're stuck in quarantine.
Yeah, exactly.
Put it this way: we've seen the inside of many a quarantine room during the COVID period, but good to have the opportunity. So, welcome aboard.
Yeah, I'm a bit lucky actually because they just changed the rules here in New Zealand for to go from 14 days to 7, and I just lucked in and got it just right. Only had to do the 7, which was good.
Yeah, okay.
So you nailed it. You got out in time to go and compete, and you come back for a change. So you're sort of done okay.
Yeah, I know. I have. I got out just right. I got out about 2 weeks before we went into lockdown. I've come back, and they're still in lockdown. So I probably came back a couple of weeks too early.
Should have gone for a ski or something, mate.
Have you got Jacinda's phone number, direct line?
No.
Tell her to time to wind it up.
All right. All right, let's kick the show off, mate. First off, let's just get some framework for the listeners if they don't know your story. How did you get into sailing in the first place?
Oh, as a kid, I lived down near Wellington in New Zealand. It blows like shit there the whole time. And, I didn't come from a sailing background at all, and I ended up going to primary school when I was 5, 6 years old, and end up sitting next to David Barnes, who's a pretty legendary sailor from New Zealand. And so he was my best mate at school, and his dad had a flying 15, and so we used to go home from school when we were about 8 years old, 6, 7, and take his flying 15 out after school because it was on a mooring outside their house. So that's how I learnt to sail, really. Yeah.
That's cool. That's super cool.
There, we went into P class, and in the end, I ended up going to a couple of youth world championships with David, and competed against him a lot of America's Cups and 470s, and So that was my story.
Are you still mates?
Oh, unfortunately, David died about he had MS, and he died just over a year ago. So it was super sad. He's been sick since really after the Cup in New Zealand, and I guess it was 2000. That's when we sort of heard about it. So he's had tough time right up to when he passed away last year. So it was super sad.
Yeah, right.
But he was a legendary New Zealand yachtsman, that's for sure. 3 World 470 champions.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, awesome.
But, so you've gone in head first, like on Wellington Harbour, 25 knots in the bloody Flying 15, just winging it?
Yeah, well, we actually lived up at Parramatta, which is north of Wellington, and it's in an inlet, so it was a little bit safer than being out in Wellington Harbour and getting run over by the ferries and stuff. But yeah, we just winged it, and it was great fun. Yeah, we had trapeze on the thing and everything, so it was good fun. Yeah.
Have you got this? I've got this visual image of an 8-year-old on trapeze trying to pull down a Flying 15 and nothing, just nothing. How to change it?
No.
Especially in 25 knots.
Yeah, and I will say for those who haven't been to Wellington, listeners who are not from New Zealand, 25 knots in New Zealand is a solid 52 knots anywhere else. So just so you know, it's not a half-assed 25 knots. Yeah, so it was when you got into it. Was it an immediate passion for you, mate, or was it just mucking around with your mate? When did you become serious?
Oh, it was a couple of years before I got seriously into it. It was playing around really. We just enjoyed going out yachting, and and then we got P classes, and we used to go up. When it was windy, we'd go up two up in the P class, and that was good fun.
Yeah.
We were little fellas. And, we just mucked around having fun for a couple of years, and then, started getting a bit serious with it. And we had a pretty good we had some good people at the club sailing every Sunday at Parramatta. We had Russell Coots and his 2 older brothers used to come. He was down from, sailed from Wellington for quite a few years, and both the Dodson brothers, they were down in Wellington. They used to come and sail at Parramatta. So, we had some good boys to sail against. I think that's how the standard improved so much, and we learnt so quickly, and got going.
Yeah, so if you're only the half decent one out of that group, you're still top of the world, sort of thing. So it's pretty pretty impressive. So when you sort of got into this, and you said, "Mum and Dad, I kind of like this. I wouldn't mind a boat, like a P class." Were your folks devastated because your dad had the kicking goals lined up so you could be an All Black, or was it they folks were totally into this from the start?
No, they were supportive. I actually bought my first boat from the money I made on my paper round.
Oh,
$80 my first P class. Yeah,
fantastic. I love it.
So I think I had saved up half it, and my parents gave me the other half. Yeah,
that's a word I haven't heard in a while.
$40, and they gave me 40. Yeah,
love it. Yeah. So, what was the boat called? Do you remember?
Yeah, I do actually. It was called Dusty, which is quite appropriate.
I'll drink to that. Many a dusty boat on a boat.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So, because obviously your pathway was through the dinghies up to the Olympic pathway as the initial thing. So, when you said you started getting serious, what happened? How did you go? Was it just because you're all in that little club? You've got some great names there, amazing names. Were you all just suddenly going, okay, let's just try and be better and better? Or was there a coach there that sort of drove you guys, or what?
We didn't have any coaching, and I don't think many people did in those days, But we I guess we helped each other, and it was because everyone. We were competitive, We were just competitive people, and we sort of just egged each other on, got better and better. And, that's how it really worked. We and we used to sail a lot, practice a lot. We just enjoyed doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you progress out of the P class, what's the next step there? Was that straight into?
Yeah, well, I battled a little bit with the P class because I was quite small, and as we said before, it blows like shit the whole time in Wellington, and then I went into a junior cherub, which is just a cherub with a slightly smaller rig on it, and fortunately, the first year I got there, that they had they used that boat for the trials for the World Youth Championships, which was going to be in 420s, and we didn't have any 420s in New Zealand, so they used that, and I straight away just enjoyed the two-man sailing boat rather than the single-handed, and and got pretty good at it straight away, and we won the nationals, and that was the trial. So we went away to the World Youths, and that really gave me a big head start. And,
was that as a helmsman or as a crew?
Sorry?
Was that as a helmsman or a crew? Or
I was the helmsman, yeah.
Right, yep.
And my next door neighbour was my crew, yeah.
There you go.
You don't get a choice in New Zealand. You either sail or you play rugby, don't you?
Yeah.
So where did that big journey take you then?
In Spain, actually, Palamos in Spain. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Oh, good old Spain.
Oh, a couple of young fellas over in Spain. Jesus. Yeah.
Hey?
You would have had a good time, no doubt. So you this is 420s then, and then I assume you're doing 420s in the youth. Did 3 youth worlds from my memory with your sailing. And then I guess you had a couple of goes at the 470, trying to make it to the Olympic team in the 470. Is that right?
Yeah, I did. We actually I qualified for the 1980 games, which is one of the ones that we boycotted. And so that was sort of quite devastating at the time. It was a pretty hard knock to take because we were we were going pretty good in the 470 then. We'd won the European champs a couple of years before, and I think we won the Kiel week in that year of the games in 80. And anyway, it was out of our hands, and our yachting federation decided to. Not all the sports in New Zealand had actually boycotted. The government put a lot of pressure on the sporting associations and federations to boycott, and anyway, sailing succumbed to it, and so we boycotted, and so we didn't get to go.
Yeah, pretty much exactly the same that happened in Australia. Just the Australian sailing team didn't go.
Interesting thing, the canoeists went, and the next games in '84, their canoeing team excelled and won a stack of medals.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they won as many. Our canoeist team won as many medals as Australia did for their whole Olympic team that year.
Of course they did.
Just something that came to mind.
Just kick them all when they're down.
we love seeing Kiwis in.
So just so you're off on your Olympic pathway. The support for that in NZ at the time. I mean, obviously sailing's been pretty, a big part of the history of NZ, and was there a big support for it for sailors as there is now?
Well, it's changed. There's a lot more support now, and then we had jobs and we were supporting ourselves, and we were trying to sail as much as we could as well. And so typically we'd go away to Europe for one trip, it might be 8 weeks or something like that, and try and fit in 3 or 4 regattas and one trip away. But we never had a coach or anything like that to those, 470 regattas we used to go to. But we usually went away with a couple of other teams, and we sort of, we had a lot of fun doing it. It was pretty, there was a lot of there was a lot of rivalry and within our 470 New Zealand fleet at that time. It was pretty tough. You know, we had Chris Dixon in it with Joey Allen and Dave Barnes, Hamish Wilcox, and I was there, and it was pretty tough competition between the
sure.
three crews, and there was a few other crews as well. Yeah.
Many punch-ups on the beach with Dicko?
Oh, we had a couple, yeah.
Always ends up that way.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even imagine, like, going without bloody internet, emails and shit like that to try and go and do a 8-week campaign and combine all the logistics and stuff. Oh, just blows my head away. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they were the days when we used to fly to the UK and go and buy a VW Combi and
hook her on, off you go.
470 on the roof and off you go.
Yeah.
So it wasn't much logistics to do really. Just had to allow a few days to buy a car at the beginning and then a few more to sell it at the end at one of those van markets. Yeah.
Oh, and don't forget you had to sell your car before you left New Zealand.
Yeah.
To pay for the car you were buying in the UK.
I guess you added some complexity, though, once you went up into the FD class. Like, it's not as though you can throw one of those on the roof. What made you step up into the FDs? Was it an easier pathway, you thought, to the Olympics, or you just loved the boat?
No, I just thought I'd done enough in the 470, you know. Like, I'd sailed that enough and I wanted a new challenge, really, yeah.
Yeah. And Greg, was he the neighbour on the other side, or?
No. Actually, I'd moved up to Auckland at this stage. I moved up to Auckland sort of for halfway through my 470 days, and so
he was the bloke. He was the bloke across the road.
Yeah. No, he wasn't actually, but he was the tallest guy I knew. So that's how we came together. Yeah,
it's interesting, isn't it? You got in those days, because that was pre-carbon mast in the FDs, and you know, your crews. I think you really had to be pretty much 100 kilos, and 6'6" was probably about where you needed to be, 110 kilos, that sort of range. That sort of helped. But once the carbon mast came in, it went down. But that would have been after your time, I'm guessing. That would have been sort of well after that. But did you like the FD, mate? Was that?
It was a great boat to sail, and really, really fun. Like technically challenging and interesting. I learned a lot about boats sailing the FD because there's so many adjustments on them. I mean, firstly, they're a beautiful boat to sail. They're nicely balanced, and they're a good sized boat. You know, they're not small. And they had the big overlapping Jenica and Genoa, and they're a handful. The crews, got to be pretty strong, and obviously you need plenty of riding moments. So Greg, he was 6'6" and 104 kilos or something. He used to diet to get to 104, I think. But you could, it was good fun sailing in the light because you had plenty of power, and then it was good fun sailing in the breeze. You rake the mast right back, and you had a few clue positions on the jib. You could just depower the Genoa, and you could change the mast rate, you change the centreboard position, change the centreboard rate. That's just all sorts of controls you could do on the fly,
Yeah, Jordan will bang on about how good a 5.0 is to go upwind in. But but you also hear an FD to go upwind fully powered up's one of the best boats you could sail.
Yeah, I haven't sailed a 505, and a lot of my mates who have say that I should because I really enjoy it. Yeah,
you'd love it.
I've heard they're fantastic boats. Yeah.
The FD is, if you ask me, the FD is the ultimate skipper's boat, for a skipper because it just tracks. The only reason it's not awesome for a crew is, like, as you said, that Genoa, pulling that Genoa on in 25 knots is just a nightmare. And then the other thing is sometimes the skipper will drop rake into the rig and you don't know, and you're low on the wire, and next thing you know, you're teabagged as deep as a man can go. And then you just have to negotiate terms with the skipper when you get back on board, Well,
the other thing is, we used to have I probably still do, the continuous trapeze. So when you tack, you don't have to unhook and hook on. But, if you get it just a tiny little bit wrong, you're going out on the shot court, and then you do get teabagged nicely.
Hated it. Hated
Go
it.
through a lot of reels of shot court.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I took that off straight. I did a couple seasons on an FD, so I'm not an expert in them. But yeah, I hated that system. Anyway, but great boat.
You'd be right though, Jordan. 25 knots, just wrap the jib sheet around your head.
Yeah.
Work like a winch.
Oh yeah. No doubt. Just use the leverage. But it's a good technique, actually. You boys should go out and have a go on an FD. You really should. If you haven't sailed one, it's a dream to sail. Like, it truly is. It's worth it, especially in 25 knots. Yeah.
I'm already thinking about that tack.
You need some technique, that's for sure, because the floor's not that deep on an FD either, so you haven't got much room.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you had some good results at those Olympics. So 88, 92, headed off to two Olympics. Was that? Did you just do that from the passion perspective, or were you chasing your wife at that stage, mate?
Oh, it was my passion to try and win an Olympic medal, and we got pretty close. We got a fifth in the 92, the 88 Olympics, and that was the one we were closest to a medal. We sort of screwed it up in the middle of the series where we had a super shifty, weird day, and we didn't do a good job of that, and had a couple of bad races, and after starting off well in the regatta, so that was a bit disappointed because both the Olympics we'd finished second in the Worlds just prior to the year of the Olympics, and so we sort of underperformed a little bit at the Olympics. So it's just a bit disappointing.
Pretty amazing standard of sailors. Like in the world of sailing these days, a lot of the people that, the last group was Finns, they'd all come out of the Finn class that are going into things, but coming out of the FD class was where everyone sort of got pilfered for the America's Cup and those things. So it was one of those classes because, as you said, you know everything about a boat because you can adjust every single thing. So you've experienced it, and you've done it. So being a
I think one of the really good things about sailing the FD is that there's so many things to adjust. You can't really just sail by numbers. Like you might. I'm not going to say these guys do it like this because you have to. The 470, like they have sort of settings, and they go to probably numbers and for every couple of knots of wind range and that. But FD, you sort of had a rough guide to where you're going to be, but you really did it by the looking at the sails, the jib and the main, and the shape of them, and you're adjusting the rig and then feeling the balance of the boat and adjusting centerboard and stuff like that. And it was really sort of by feel and your eye that you were sailing this boat. And there's often a few different ways of skinning a cat, way to get to the same point. And it was so you learned a lot about setting up a boat and why they were fast.
Yeah, because I think you've got a bit of a reputation as being a rig expert. Like if you're working on a boat, Murray Jones knows how to set the rig up, and I would argue that that growing up sailing FDs, 470s are a little bit like that as well. You've got a lot of control, but that ability to understand, and if you'd done a 5A, you'd be a master, mate.
Yeah. Well, he's got that to go back to, Jay.
Well, if you ever want to do a regatta on a 5A, major regatta, just let me know. I can organise a boat. I've got access to boats for world champs and stuff.
I reckon you're just lining yourself up a crew, mate.
Maintaining the timeline here, Murray. So you jump out of the FD in 92, and was the cup always on the cards?
A lot of my mates were had done a few cups by then, because some of them had done the Perth thing in the 12 metres, mates, and also the 92 Cup in San Diego. And so it wasn't like a huge ambition for me to do the Cup, but anyway, no, I think it was 93 or something like that. Russell Coots, who I was good mates with, he basically just rang me up and said, "Oh, do you want to join Team New Zealand?" And so basically I said, "Yeah," and that was it.
The rest is history.
Yeah.
As they say.
Yeah.
Done every Cup since, except the last one.
Has anyone? Yeah, I was just going to say, has anyone ever called you the lucky rabbit's foot?
Sorry?
Has anyone ever looked at you and said you're the lucky rabbit's foot? You know that you got to have on a boat because basically, if you turned up to the Cup, that team won.
Yeah, I've done 7 and won 6, so there was one I didn't win, which is a bit annoying.
2010.
That damn one.
Yeah.
It is impressive.
Bastards.
It is
It must help with contract negotiations.
Don't need to negotiate.
Just pay me.
Yeah, get Murray Jones. Yeah, no worries.
So
So-
when you jumped on in 95, was it had you done any big boat stuff at that point, or you're like, holy fuck, is that race really take that load?
I'd done a little bit of, 1-tonners and a lot of match racing. In those days we used to do a lot of match racing,
Yeah, sure.
which was super good fun, with all those guys like Gilly and
Yeah,
Russell and Dixon. And there was a real good squad, and that, so that, I mean, they're pretty small boats really, but we learned a lot about match racing in those days, and yeah, as I said, only really 1-tonners and things, the smallest keel boats. Well, they were big keel boats in those days, they're not very big anymore. But a big boat, it was, learned how to load a winch and stuff like that. It should, a little bit scary at first doing the runners on a AC boat, especially when the ropes in those days, when they used to polyester covers, they used to just melt and stick to the drums, and you're peeling off, one turn and it's still glued onto the drum. Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah. What about team dynamics back then? Obviously, it was all new to everyone. I mean, 95. There was obviously some experience there, but you guys were just starting officially the role of Team New Zealand. I mean, that's where the nucleus is. How did that all sort of feel once you sort of got into it in 95?
Quite a few of the guys, like Russell and a lot of the guys on the boat, 95 boat, had been involved with New Zealand Challenge in 92.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a good team and quite innovative. And but they didn't make it, and I think they learned a lot of lessons about that campaign. They probably were a bit too complicated and trying to be a bit clever with the design. Anyway, they didn't get through, and I think they learned a lot of lessons. And so when it came to the 95 team and Peter Blake and Russell Coots, they put together a really good squad, kept it small, tight design team, and did a real good job of hiring people that were
Team players,
super talented but very good, that would work together well in the team, and and it did gel incredibly well. Yeah, it was pretty impressive, that team. Yeah,
I mean, it was good of you to put that little team building exercise together to rescue us Aussies out of the water when that went down.
It was pretty incredible. Yeah.
We have to go on.
So just going back to 95, I've had a few mates who were in both Aussie team and other teams. Were you part of? Did you spend? How long were you up in San Diego for? Were you literally basically became a resident of San Diego and Mexico at the same time?
No, because I think determined how long we were there. I think we were there for 5 months or something, because I think if we'd stayed there more than 6 months, or we'd have to be tax residents or something. And so
Yeah.
That's what determined how long our build-up was going to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
right.
we were there just 5 months, I think.
Yep. And another story I'd always heard in '95, depending on what jib was up, the first race of the day, they start building that jib again, ready for the next day. You chewed through the gear. Everyone chewed through the gear. The limited restrictions, and it was just throw as much resource as you can at it.
Yeah, we had a pretty tight budget in Team New Zealand, and so we couldn't throw things away. In fact, like our wing development on our keels, we decided in the end to do it with the boat. Well, Tim Gurr made them out of plywood and with carbon on them, so we went through a whole lot of different iterations that cost just about nothing. Yeah, broke a few off though. Yeah.
I'd say so.
Very cool. We have to. I think you defended the title at home, and then obviously probably the most controversial moment in New Zealand sport where you guys defected across to Olingi. There was you and 6 of you, I think it was. Was that a tough time for you, mate, or was that just business?
It wasn't that tough, really. Like we felt that we'd done a pretty good job for New Zealand. Like we'd won the cup and we'd defended it, and sort of didn't feel like we owed New Zealand anything. And anyway, so yeah, Russell got this offer from Ernesto, and he rang us up and said, what do you think? Are you interested? Because he didn't want to, try and do it on his own. I think he wanted some of his mates to go put together a squad. So, yeah, we went ahead with it. And, we copped a lot of flack at home for sure, but not from, any of your true mates or anything like that. It was people you didn't know. They're pretty uninformed, I thought,
Right.
Yeah, but we still had respect of our peers and the people we were sailing against, and still got on really well with our mates that stayed in Team New Zealand. So that's all that counted really for us. But it sort of got a bit weird, all right. Yeah.
Well, sailing was
public. Yeah.
Sailing was really changing about then. It was getting more professional, and that's where probably the start of it all. Where people were sailing for their careers more than their countries.
Well, I think a lot of these younger people today can probably thank Russell Cootes for, well, and they're not so young, for upping the ante and getting people paid, so they could actually make a proper living out of sailing. And that's filtered right down through.
Sure.
And yeah, so as you said, it was a changing point in the sport.
So 6 of you go across to Olingi. Was there anyone who would just flat out, I'm not going?
Don't think so. I think he just asked the 6 of us, and or 5 others, and we all said off we go.
Which then shaped the next several years, which was Valencia and then into the big gear.
Yeah. Well, we did the Cup in New Zealand and won that, which wasn't super popular. And then the Cup in Valencia was awesome. The 2007 Cup, I think,
was.
It was. Winning the Cup in '95 was super special because it was the first Cup I'd done, and was the first to win for New Zealand, and so that was super special. So you sort of can't compare that. But I think the best Cup I've done is the 2007 Cup. It was just an awesome setup. A lot of teams, and it was a great venue. Valencia was an awesome venue.
I do agree with you. And I was across the fence at a Riva Challenge, and I'd look over and I go, "Look at those blokes, got it all," you know. And we were battling away there, but it was super impressive to see I thought that was the absolute pinnacle of those boats, and Team New Zealand in particular. Sorry, Alinghi in particular. You know, so it was huge.
Yeah, and it was great, and you know the Alinghi, you know, I think they put together a great event, and also, you know, they started off with these regattas leading up to it, which they called the Axe, which were really good fun and good regattas. We went to places like Malmo and, you know, a few other places, and Trapani, and sailed in the cup boats, and they had fleet racing and match racing. It was, you know, it was an awesome setup, yeah, and quite innovative really for that time.
And which is pretty much replicated now.
Yeah.
And we saw the protocol come out just today for the next cup, and it is almost a replication of that, albeit different boats. But basically, you have the Axe, and you get everyone active and get the whole thing, get people excited about the whole thing.
Yeah, it's funny because, you know, I've obviously been involved with the team defending the cup a few times, and so you get involved with, you know, coming up with the class rule for the boat, and also the protocol and things like that. You come with ideas, and it's interesting, you know, when you've got teams that you're competing against you, like for instance, you know, Grant Dalton and Team New Zealand. When he's competing against you, you know, he's bagging the hell out of the event, and well, you shouldn't be doing like this, unfair and everything like that, you know. But then when you become the defender, it's a whole lot different. You got to put on an event, you got to come up with the rules and protocol and that. You got a different hat on, and it's for starters, it's a massive distraction from trying to win the cup.
Yeah.
For starters, but also, you know, you ought to have some responsibility to put on a good event and it to be fair. And so, you know, you change, you know, all of a sudden, I'm sure the Team New Zealand have changed, you know, how they've viewed it over the last cup and now this one, that it's not so easy, you know. Looking from the outside of being a challenger, it looks to the challengers that you're always screwing it and that, but you're not, you know, the teams I've been, we haven't been, you know, it's you're doing your best, you know. And it's interesting that in the end that these teams adopt a lot of the things that have been done in the past.
So yeah, certainly from an event organiser's point of view, it's easy for teams to throw stones, so to speak. But what's the biggest example of stacking anyone's cards in their own favour, be it Alinghi Oracle or what we're seeing with Team New Zealand? Does anyone really do that, do you think? Or can they get away with it? Not really?
Well, I don't think it's been that stacked, really. You know, you could argue that this latest one with the residency rule is pretty harsh. I mean, it's obviously good for Team New Zealand. It's good for the Poms, but it's pretty tough for other teams, I think.
Well, Team New Zealand have got a new breed now, of course, the Quasi.
Yeah.
in Nathan Outridge. So that's a whole new breed just starting from nowhere.
Yeah. I mean, that was a pretty tough rule, I think, to introduce, and also not popular because within a lot of the Kiwis as well, because there's a lot of Kiwi yachties out there that are out there doing it and trying to come through. And in the past, we've had Kiwi yachties in all the America's Cup teams, you know, in some different roles in the sailing teams. And really it's cut all them out of any other possibility of being involved with the Cup.
You got a few Aussies in that New Zealand team now, haven't you? Like when you actually go into it. Yeah, it's like a cancer starting to spread.
Well, you guys need to have a team.
Yeah,
you got all the good yachties. You just got to, and you got plenty of money over there. You got to just get someone to part with some of the cash and have a team. You got to have a strong team.
Yeah, well, we keep crapping on about it all the time, but yeah,
no one listens to us.
No, but you're right though, Murray. There's the money's there and the talent's there, and the fact there is no team.
It's crazy, really.
Put your hands up, yeah. I mean, the Kiwis and Aussie have pretty much, be it inshore or offshore, they're at all those regattas and on every boat, like you mentioned. And the fact we're not involved, be it like we haven't had a team in the Volvo or the Whitbread for ever, not to mention Cup World.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a bit of a big pity.
Yeah, and but you have had the sailors in the Cup World, and obviously your Olympic team has been on fire for years. So you've got the talent there. That's no problem at all, and the experience because I've been involved in these Cup teams. So you're up and running immediately. That someone puts their hand up and puts their hand in their pocket. Yeah.
We just need to find a Grant Dalton or someone like that to run the show.
Pull a team together. It must be interesting for you, Murray, because you sort of transition more to a coaching role a bit now. And even before that, though, that some of the big names that are in the world of sailing now, like you've watched them come up, you've sailed with them, you've got to hang out with them. It must be... Is it like when they come on board, are you thinking, oh, look at these young whippersnappers, or do they just show so much class from such early times, or, like...
I mean, yeah, they by the time I've seen them, they've already achieved incredible amounts. And, they've got talent coming out their ears, They still, are learning, I'm old and I'm still learning a few things every now and then. But, I think, people just keep maturing and figuring out how the whole, game works, not just the on the water thing.
Yeah.
Which is a big part of the America's Cup, and how to run a team efficiently, and it's basically a people's game, the America's Cup,
Yeah.
Yeah. You can tell, straight away when a team starts hiring and you go through the names, you can almost figure out how successful they're going to be at a very early stage in their development before they've even got anything off the design. On the design board.
Well, speaking of that, then one of the biggest rumours floating around, and we of course threw fire on that flame just for a bit of fun. We fanned that flame just as hard as we could. That Pete and Blair are not signed up for Team New Zealand at the moment. They've brought Nath on. Obviously, Pete and Blair are going to Oracle Team USA, which is going to be reformed. You want to confirm that for the world, or have you heard that rumour? Or did you spread that rumour?
No, I definitely didn't spread it, and I'm pretty sure it's not true.
Good try, Jay, though.
Unfortunately for you guys, because it'd be a good one to promote, but I'm 99.9% sure that's not true. Yeah. But it is an interesting situation, because, I understand Pete and Blair haven't signed up, so... And obviously Nathan has, so... is interesting because that's it puts them Team New Zealand quite a strong position, really. Obviously, I'm hoping like hell that Pete and Blair will sign up and it'll all go ahead, and Nathan will be a fantastic asset.
Absolutely.
So, is this part of the game of chess? Do we think that Dolts is trying to, get a bit of a one-upsmanship on causing a bit of disarray early? It's going to just come in with the troops, or it's a genuine situation at the moment?
Oh, I think it's a genuine situation, but it is a little bit, we talked about the residency rule before, and so, as far as I'm aware, Pete and Blair haven't got another passport, or they may have. I actually wouldn't have a clue, but so their negotiating position isn't crash hot when if they want to actually sail on a boat.
Yeah, sure.
Team New Zealand's probably their only option unless they have another passport. Some of these guys.
Oh, there's plenty of women with different passports ready to marry them.
Yeah. No, but you had to have it, I think, on the
by the date, yeah.
On the day of that they won the cup in March.
Yeah, March 21 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Have you had time to peruse the protocol that came out today?
I whipped through it today. Yeah. Quickly. Yeah.
Anything stand out apart from that residency side of things?
No, it was interesting that they say that they want to keep the same boats for the cup after the 30 for the 38th cup. So the next one's going to be the 37th for the 38th. They want to get everyone to sign up that everyone uses the same boats again. And interesting thing is that Oracle tried to do that in Bermuda. And the only team that didn't sign it was Team New Zealand.
I remember that.
But now they've made that a requirement of the entry. So you actually, if you don't even get. So if Oracle had done that last time, either Team New Zealand would have been forced to
or not
agree with that or not enter. So they've taken it definitely a step further this time with.
Interesting. What about with those boats? They're super cool sort of boats. I guess in your role, you've seen up inside the rigs, so you know what's going on in between the two panels, and you've seen under the decks, so you know what's going on there.
Well, not really, because I wasn't involved. The last cup I wasn't involved with.
Didn't they let you in?
I did go for a sneak look a few times. They let me in. Yeah.
So tell us all the secrets.
They went out on them. Yeah, had a look at them sailing a few times. But they're pretty cool boats. Jesus, and the performance is incredibly impressive. But
absolutely,
but they're complicated, and you need a massive technical team just to maintain them and go sailing every day.
Just to launch the bastards.
Not
as
launching's the easy part, but this all the hydraulics and electronic equipment and stuff. It's just that's what's made them super expensive, and the build of them is super. The man hours is incredible.
Yeah. When the Yanks had their big crash and whatever it was that punched out the side. When you saw that, did you just think, "Oh shit, that boat's not coming back in time," or was that just good mates for sailing? Do you remember where everyone just pitched in and helped them?
Yeah. I thought they'd get back in time. Yeah. I figured that they'd do the repairs all right, but I was sort of concerned that they might have a lot of bugs and glitches in their electronics from everything being wet, and next thing that they have some bug which could be dangerous.
And then there's the mental side. It doesn't
work properly with the foils when you're going at 40 knots. Wouldn't be that much fun.
Yeah,
but they did a good job.
Yeah. We probably need to get onto some TP discussion, boys. We got to.
Yeah, why not?
We probably should respect the fact that you sailed quite well this year on a little boat called Sled. TPs, are they a good boat or a bad boat?
Yeah, they're good. I mean, they've got a great circuit and super competitive. The racing is incredibly close. Good. And the boats are fun to sail. They're super refined. They've sort of gravitated. We talked about the version 5AC boats in Valencia earlier, and to be truthful, when we came to Valencia in 2007, those boats had been used for quite a few different cups, and we were starting to refine things, windage little things, and trying to save a few grams to put make the bulbs a little heavier, because with those cup boats, every gram you could save, you're allowed to put on the bulb, which was basic performance. But you were really in the refinement.
Try and get up over that 21-ton mark.
Yeah, exactly. And the TPs, in my mind, is almost getting to the same sort of little. Even though they're not a one design boat, there's different design hulls and whatever. But they have actually sort of gravitated to being very, very similar, and the boat speeds is just almost identical, And
it's
so
really,
you have super good racing. Yeah, super good racing. But
really
it's actually,
noticeable when you watch it.
Yeah,
in the video.
Yeah, one mistake and you can just go from like second to, well, we did in the second to last race of these Worlds. We were coming second in the race, and 200 metres from the top mark, we took a shift wrong and we went round the top mark seventh, I think, something like that. Oh, it's painful. It's so close, yeah.
I'm just trying to get through my mind what the Mold 11 version of a TP52 would look like. TP53.
Yeah. Sorry, BP. That's all right, mate. No problems. No problems. All good. So Sled, the team's been around for a long time, obviously a Japanese owner. And, it's been a highly competitive team for a long, long time. How long have you been sailing with Sled?
I've done this sort of my second season sailing on the boat, and I did a season before that, or a part of a season anyway, coaching for them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a great team, and the owner's a super nice guy, Japanese guy, and as you say, he's really loyal. The team's sort of stuck together. It's been the same team, I think, for years.
It's almost like the philosophy last week with Sunrise saying the same thing. He said it's all about the team and the mantra, if you like, of good blokes or good guys and girls and good team. Yeah. Mm.
And we enjoy it too. We have a good time. With the team. Obviously we're serious and we do everything we can, but we do enjoy it. You see some of the other teams and they look a lot more serious.
Too serious.
How we're doing it. Yeah.
Well, you did okay. 2021 world champion. It's all right, really. Just okay.
Yeah.
Just okay, lads, isn't it?
Yeah.
How was it coming into that last regatta? Like we've kept an eye on the regattas throughout the year. Super close. So not only on the racetrack, but that translated after 4 regattas leading into the Worlds as well.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, there was actually 3 regattas that we counted this year. We had
the one in the...
We had one in Port Tales, one in Mahon, and then we had the Worlds. And, they were all close. We ended up winning the first regatta, which was good. And then we didn't have a good regatta in Mahon, and there was no wind the last 2 days, and we didn't race the last 2 days, and we were only about 4 points behind second, I think, and we ended up, I can't remember what we came, 5th or something like that in the regatta. And so we were itching to race, and we didn't get that opportunity. But it meant the way the season works is you just accumulate every point from every regatta. So it's not like if you come second, you get 2 points. You take forward whatever points you scored in that regatta, and it accumulates. And so we did, even though we didn't do that well, we didn't burn a lot of points. And so we were real close going into that last regatta, which was also the Worlds. And we just sort of chipped away, and then we ended up winning 3 races, and I think we were getting better and better. We sailed the first regatta we had Adam Beashall, who sailed with the Sled forever as a tactician, and he had trouble coming back to Europe, travelling and doing all the quarantine and that. So he decided just to do the first regatta. So in the next 2 regattas, we had Francesco Bruni as tactician. So it was sort of when we went to Mahon, it was we had to sort of figure out between a few of us how it all was going to work. And I think we just got better and better. And by end of the Worlds, we were operating pretty well.
And I'm sure he told you, but how many world titles or Super Series is this for Gero now?
Here's what?
How many world titles has Gero won now?
Oh,
And it's Jeremy Lomas for all the listeners out there.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't want to ask him because it would be just painful for him.
That's what I thought he would have told everyone anyway.
No, he's a great bloke, Gero, and he does a great job on board. Yeah.
Hey, actually, if you were a young, up and coming lad or lass listening to this, what's the pathway to get into the TP? Say, is there much rotation, or is it just go and win an FD Worlds or a Fin Worlds, or?
There's a little bit of rotation, but some of the teams are pretty solid and they don't change that much, and so it's hard to get in. Some of the teams are, they do have some rotation, but yeah, I think you just got to be there, knocking on the door and asking people if you can come along.
The old adage: get in there and be a sailmaker or a boat manager, or
just
get in there and do it.
Pick up a broom to start with.
Yep.
Yeah.
Make a couple
just make some contact with the teams and make a good impression and a good work ethic, and it should come from roll on from there.
Bitey didn't finish his sentence. Pick up a broom to start with and smack some prick over the head with it.
Smack him in the knee. You're out.
Righto. Actually, he does my job. I'm really good at that job. Work your way up the ladder, you reckon, boss?
Oh dear. So what's next for you, mate? What are you pinned down for a while now? Or is your season done, or are you going to get the P class out?
Your season's done. I'll next regatta is probably St Bart's on 56-metre boat. I did a couple of years ago, little boat there.
Yeah.
Good fun. Boat called Aquarius. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's another game in itself. And I enjoy some of those super yachts. It's just awesome. Especially as a tactician, you got to start thinking things about 3 minutes in front of when it's going to happen.
With all this travel, mate, there's one of the obvious side benefits of that is lounge access, and we've all got lounge access around the traps. What's the worst thing you've done or seen done in the lounge to get yourself booted out? It's the new yacht club front bar, where the old stories of people trashing yacht club bars. It's all in the lounge.
In the lounge now, you reckon?
Yeah. No, not too bad. There are a few stories, but I wouldn't be able to repeat them on this media.
Good answer. Well done. Yeah. Well done, Muzz. No worries, mate. All good.
All right. Hey, we're out of time, basically, lads. So I'll just throw it out there. One more question for anyone. Anyone got anything left they want to hit Murray on with, or?
I'd like to talk about Mark Dumphy if we could.
Oh, there you go.
No, we could maybe save that one, and we'll might reach out to him and see if he's got anything to say, and whether it's for the greater good of New Zealand sailing or not. Let's see. Murray, pleasure having you on, mate. And it's really is like having NZ royalty on. So thanks very much.
It was a pleasure.
I think the next pathway for us, Murray, is we'll do a live bar karate from New Zealand. We'll all be over there for something, and then we'll get a few of you lads along to whichever yacht club we choose, and just do a live bar karate session, and liberally discussed with lubricant just to help the conversation in case anyone's shy.
That probably would help.
Yeah, see if you're interested in that sort of program.
Yeah, good on you. All right, well, thanks for joining us, and a big congratulations for the World Championships. It was great fun to watch, actually, the entire season. So great having you on board and sharing it with us.
Right.
Right.
The ultimate Kiwi sign-off. Oh, fuck, I love it. As much as we take the piss out of the Kiwis as at any point in time, bloody hell, they're a comical bunch. One, they're bloody good yachties. Two, and three, of course, we like taking the piss out of them. But we didn't do it well, and we couldn't do it too much there because it literally was like speaking with royalty. And I feel honoured, to tell you the honest truth.
Oh, it's just great having people like that on the show. But, the sign-off is almost like, another world champion and then another world championship. What's next? Move on.
Move on. Yeah.
And for us, it'll be probably a year of eternal partying. But for some of these guys at that level that have done so much, it's just, okay. Now I'm off to Saint-Tropez or whatever.
All right, cue Kiwi joke, Jordan.
No. I don't want to get in trouble.
No, bloody good. And they just continue to impress everywhere you look. So
very cool. Moving on, club events, boss.
I'm not going to say club event this time, but class event.
Mm-hmm.
The VXs have had a little championships in Canberra.
Yeah.
Which is going to be the home of the Sharpie Nationals actually coming up this summer.
Yep.
And at last count, Rob Douglas.
Yep.
Is that right? Rob. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Rob was had a healthy lead across the fleet. Sailed on Lake Burley Griffin, and I believe you're a bit of a local of Lake Burley Griffin yourself, Jordan. Back in the day,
local of the world,
got your photo up in the yacht and stuff like that.
Has he?
Yeah, maybe. I did win a few things there. I'm
sure you did.
It sounded terrible, didn't it?
I did win a few things there. I've got a photo up there. Yep.
So Man-Made Lake Burley Griffin. So dammed it all up, and it's got a couple of little islands in the middle of it. Very shifty, very difficult to get wind in. Traditionally very light. Often you can be sailing along and like a little willy you don't see just hits you, and you will do a 360 just completely catch you out. But I think Rob is pretty comfortable sailing there. He's done plenty of sailing there. Good fun. It's be a good place for sailing. Bit of a tight course though, not much room.
Don't they? I think with the Sharpies, they're looking at basically nothing in the mornings at all, which is perfect for a Sharpie event. And then kind of racing more late arvo twilight-ish.
Yeah, because you'll sometimes late get the sea breeze come in from the coast, and if you don't get that, then you're just reliant on the gradient breeze. So if there's nothing overhead, then you've got nothing to sail on. So it does get super light there, but sailing late's probably a good thing. Let that breeze sort of kick in. VX1s, of course, we're big fans of. I think we are sponsoring their nationals, going to be at RQ. I think I'm doing some commentary for that. So we'll be all fired up. Just the back order on boats. I was talking to the distributor 2 weeks ago. Actually, I sailed with him on a catamaran, and we were just chatting away, and he said, the back order on boats is incredible.
When does ours arrive?
Yeah, it might be a couple of years the way it's going.
So where are they built?
In New Zealand now.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Is there only one builder?
No, I think they build them in the UK as well.
Here we go. Here we go, boys.
It starts again.
On and on and on and over and over and over. We just don't learn, do we?
They're only white too.
Get them down here, flip them over, speed shop the shit out of them.
Yeah, no.
Get them
one will be longer than the other.
Yeah. And they're all white as well.
One will be inside all one. Yeah, come on. No comment. Move on.
All right. So should we roll on to hot topics with Bicey?
No. I'll tell you what,
do it.
We got some reaction to your song.
Oh, did you? Hot topic with Bicey. The heat is on. That's it.
Yeah.
What was the reactions? Any positive?
Oh, very funny.
Do you have the song?
Just so bad it was funny.
Hit the button.
I haven't got it. I haven't got it queued up. Sorry. Did you want it?
Well, I haven't got my bloody pants that rip down the side on for nothing. All right.
Come on, move on.
We'll
Hots.
do away with the song. Right.
We'll do another jiggle.
Hot topics. I'm going to kick it off with the minis. Nothing about the race because I know we're going to speak about that in a sec. But our friend Irina Gracheva.
Yep, that's it. You got it.
Currently located in Guadeloupe. And can one of you two gentlemen tell me what is going on in Guadeloupe at the moment, which would be taking them off course, off piste, so to speak?
Off piste. I don't know. I will say that probably my favourite TV show. I don't really watch many TV shows, but I do watch something called Death in Paradise, and that's filmed on Guadeloupe. And I've always sort of thought.
Well, in other news, there's been quite a bit of political stuff going on in yachting at the moment. We'll put the Mould 11s to the side. Russell Coates is penning several letters to the New Zealand government saying what he thinks should and shouldn't happen. But it is anarchy in Guadeloupe at the moment. Mass protests around COVID vaccinations. They've set a curfew. Irina is currently living about half an hour from her boat. She cannot get to the boat.
Oh, wow.
All. So the boats are meant to be on a ship literally in the next, from this recording, which is Sunday evening, 24 to 48 hours. So I'm not sure what's going on. And I've been trying to look in.
She's not vaccinated or did...
No, the whole the country has gone into full lockdown and curfews. French are sending military in. All sorts of stuff is going down. So those minis could be remaining on the dock for some time yet. Yeah. And for those that have left their boats, are going to find it hard to get back.
Yeah, that's tough because the mini fleet is not exactly run on money. There's a lot of people.
And it's not a resource-rich type class in the sense of having that enough power there to overcome those sorts of things.
Yeah, and I can tell you what happens with that. It's one ship, get it on the ship or miss out.
Yeah, wow.
And it's with having all of the boats on one ship, effectively your shipping costs are minimised.
Yeah.
So it's crammed. So you could imagine there's upwards of 80, 90 boats on there, or even 100 in this case. And so it's a pretty busy little session. And so if that is going to be that's a big news, Bryce. I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, it's all hell breaking loose. Cool. Shall I move on, gents, or is this a nice little segue to chat about the minis a little bit? While we're...
Well, I mean, we can. What do you want to do? You want
to talk about the minis, PP? Jump on it.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go to the minis. Well, let's just talk about the results quickly. First of all, it was another successful year, run biannually. As you know, we love the mini transit here on the Barcarati, and obviously I've got a fair bit to do with it, but I'll just quickly go through the results. Proto, Pierre Leroy gets in for a win, so he's probably a very happy man. Fabio Mussolini is in for second, and Tonje Borelek. You'd be better at these names than me, Jordan.
You're onto it, mate.
Is in for third, and we did discuss Irina. Got in for fifth overall. What a fantastic effort! Wow.
Amazing,
unbelievable, and obviously coming from Russia, it makes it even more of an effort, and obviously the first female home. So unbelievable effort. And
it was pretty clear though when we spoke to her. As far as a switched-on yachty is concerned, and we all yacht, we've been around the weather, we look at clouds, we do all this sort of stuff, but talking to her about the weather and the routing and stuff, it was just like a natural language for her.
Yeah.
She's obviously positioned the boat very well. She's got a great boat. It's not the newest boat on the block, but she has done extremely well with the tools she's had.
Absolutely, and so moving forward into the series division, obviously there's two divisions in the race. For those who don't know, it's prototype, which are anything within a size limit, canning keels and materials. The series being basic standard boats, GRP, stainless rigging, and aluminium rigs, etc. Hugo Delaine in for first. Albedo Riva from Italy second. Loic Blin in for third. So they're the prize takers.
The podium. If they can make it to the podium.
That's not That's not just the result from the Canaries.
No, that's overall.
Overall, so that's the 2 times added together.
Correct. So our mate, what's his name, Melwyn. Where did Melwyn? Melwyn Fink got in for 22nd overall in the end, so he had a bit of a tough one on the next leg, but still a wonderful effort from him in the first leg to get a first. I mean, you know, to win a leg in any mini transit event around the season is a big thing. But yeah. So that's really it in a nutshell. I won't bore you any longer.
Cool. Beauty.
Lovely. Rightio. Next topic, gents. Multiple choice. We all saw the AC protocol coming out this week. They are going to announce the venue in March 2022. So that's still a ways off. Obviously, they were going to announce it a few months ago, right? And now it's turned into March. So they have absolutely no idea what's going on. There's plenty of rumour, Valencia, Cork, Jeddah, Auckland, whatever it might be. My little birdies tell me Jeddah is going to be the one.
Wow.
Wherever the hell that is. No idea. Anyway.
You serious?
Jeddah. So, no. In the yachting world.
Oh, yeah, okay. What about the members of the Yacht Squadron, Royal New Zealand Yacht Squadron?
So there's going to be a extraordinary meeting, I believe, this week on all the members to basically table quite a few key topics.
Yeah,
one obviously being the location.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's important.
And I believe it was something around, and correct me if I'm wrong, K1s, tabling as defender, you cannot take it out of country. It was something along those lines. So,
yep. Definitely.
Back to the multiple choice.
Righto.
All right. Which is the biggest point here in the protocol with the new boats, which are going to remain essentially what we saw last time? Is it number one, the bikes are coming back? Is it number two, reducing the crew members? Number three, increasing the wingspan of the foils? Number four, no backstay, similar to what Luna Racer ran. Or number five, just reducing the overall weight. What's going to be the most significant thing here?
Crew member.
Crew member.
Crew members.
Down to 7, wasn't it? Something like that.
Down to 7. They reckon they're going to pull at least a ton out of the boat, so probably 15% of the overall weight.
Yeah.
Bit smaller sail area, bigger wingspan, so hope they get up earlier.
They're taking some weight out of those foils as well, I think.
Yeah.
And they're getting rid of the bowsprit, so they're pulling weight out where they can.
Yeah.
And I think that weight will make a difference, and also just getting them up onto the plane earlier. So I'm intrigued how it'll work, but I think the weight thing's the thing. Also,
because let's face it, they need to be up on the foils racing, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a bit like that whole harangue when they were stuck in the water, literally going at 90 true, trying to get up on the foils again, out of the boundary, back in the boundary, not going, some boats going. It was a
letdown.
Yeah, it was a letdown. So moving forward,
a deciding pivotal point of the regatta.
But the other key point here is the American Magic.
The what? The who?
The Seppos have put their full weight behind it. They fully support it. So, and there's something coming out from Doug DeVos, the owner of American Magic, basically saying he supports the way that they're going.
Mm-hmm. We'll see. It'll be. So, what do you think the most important thing is, boss?
The most important thing is every boat that signs up for the next cup has to sign up for the one afterwards as well.
Interesting.
I didn't mention that earlier.
Made it hard for us to get that as a decision point.
No, obviously, without from a design point of view, you don't know it that well, but reducing the weight of these things and just having them filing the whole time, I think, is key to making this a TV spectacle. Because imagine bringing a few mates around you don't even know, and you're just watching this awesome race, boats just flying above the water, and then all of a sudden one's just stuck in the water, and it's like...
You try to explain it.
Trying to explain how it works.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. Need to broaden it for sure.
That's the element of our sport. Cool. All right. Next.
All right, gents. I hope you've been doing your research this week.
No.
Current leaders in the TJB.
Oh.
What do you got?
Oh, no, nothing. Got nothing on that one. I haven't looked. I'm sorry.
Serious?
So, whole
It's
teams,
awesome.
Ocean 50s, on Mockers, Class 40s.
The Class 40s are going to be...
Pretty much they're on the final stretches now.
Yeah.
On their way home.
Yeah.
Right. And in the old teams,
Yep.
what do you got, Jordan?
In the old teams, well, the Maxi Edmond de Rothschild, so Gitana 17 or whatever it is, with Frank and Charles.
I like to call them Frank and Charles.
Frank and Charles.
Mate, I saw a video
They're
and
smashing it.
you did not have to know French, but just to see how much Frank and Charles are enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
Mate, 330 miles ahead of Bank Pop.
They're not far from home either, are they?
Mate, hammer down. Such cool boats.
And looks like they've got a bit of wind at the moment too, I reckon. So, like I was going to say before, the Class 40s have just got to go through some pretty light winds. It's going to be a long trip home for them. But I think the old teams have got nice pressure into the finish. You know, they'll just be reaching in, having a grand old time. Happy as you can be.
Grand old time. Now, probably next is the most not understated, but we don't see much of them, but the Ocean 50s.
Yeah.
We do not see much of them. We don't, certainly down here we don't. I'm sure in Northern Hemisphere and probably Europe they do.
Yep.
But they're cruising along too, just nicely.
Really tight battle too in that field, and I think they're the hardest boats to sail from what I've heard. Like I've never sailed one. I thought that'd be cool, but because they're right on the edge the whole time, those things. Because on the old teams,
got to be right.
Yeah,
old teams are
you stick them up on the foils and go, but these things you just stick them up on that leeward wing and just drive it like on that leeward hull,
float, yeah,
and just drive it, and you got to stay fully switched on to have that thing. So from what I've heard, they're bloody hard to keep going and drive just with two people. So yeah, good watching that one. And they're also around that little turn at I guess it's pretty much the most easterly point off Brazil at the top eastern area. And was it Fernando de Noronha? Heading for home. Yeah, happy days.
Absolutely. And then, of course, we have our good mates. We'll save the Omoko till last, but the Class 40s.
I reckon they're going to struggle.
What do they have? 40 boats, 70 entered, only 40 allowed. But, yeah, it's could be the longest race in history.
They're all right next to each other too, like literally right next to each other. They're just such a big pack of them, and it looks like just a lot of no wind coming their way. Is that good English?
I believe Sans Vento is in Espanol, as in French. I don't know. But but they are stacked. Mate, they would be seeing people the whole way.
Yeah.
Across.
Yeah. Actually, there's what was I going to say? You know how we always talk about different things that are going on and how it gets so crowded. Right now there's a yacht rally, not our rally, the World Yacht Rally, but one with all the Ultramares and that group of manufacturing group. They've got a rally around the world, and they're all just going around the Canaries right now. So it'll be they'll be bumping into each other.
traffic jam.
It's going to be a traffic jam.
And then that takes us to Imoca World, gents.
You must be so proud.
Hang on. I'm looking at the website, and there's another tab there.
What's that?
Before we go into Imoca's.
What's the other?
The virtual regatta.
Yeah.
The virtual regatta.
I'm surely I've joined this race. I'm going around the world for the 15th time. I must be in it. Sorry, go on.
You should have joined BP.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Anyway, Imoca's.
Imoca's, we got, 5 or 6 have rounded Fernando de Noronha. And we've got a bit of a pile up on the corner for the ones that are going around. I've got to say we've got Tomo Riunt leading at this point in time, followed by Charlie with a Pevia, and then our good mate Jeremy Bayou and his buddy Christopher Pratt in Charal.
Chris Pratt, he's given up the Etchels.
Yeah, well, he's got to model him.
Different Chris Pratt for those who are out there thinking what's going on. Anyway, but that's three. That's 3 are away.
73 miles ahead. Charal, 108 miles behind linked out, and then we've got back to Arkea. Sam and Karim and
Sam's having a wonderful race too.
400 odd miles or something.
It looks like a bit of a soldier's course back into the finish. Maybe not so much right now. They've got a bit up the tailpipe, but moving into sort of 90.
Basically, they're jiving down the
Brazilian coast,
the big area, or the whatever they want to call it. So my hypothesis, my question here, gents. Is the TJV possibly the greatest race, the collection of some of the greatest boats in the open world?
Yeah.
Or just yachting in general?
Yeah.
I don't think
offshore sailing.
I don't think you can question it.
Offshore sailing.
And pretty well all short-handed. How about that?
I like the fact that there's 2 people. I think it's better to have 2 than 1. I just like that better. From a safety perspective, and the boats get driven a lot harder. And the fact that there's so many cool different style boats out there, it's fantastic. And they're always heading to the Caribbean, They're always heading to...
They're going to the cool places, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to give it to these guys and the organisers. It's not often they organise a race. Oh, hang on. Let's go and do a 1,000-miler into the wind. Let's go to some shithouse joint and go upwind doing it. But
no, you're right.
Vendée, let's go downwind the whole way around the world.
Yeah.
Everything they're doing is about going fast and having a good time.
Yeah.
And finishing. And for those places that have a destination finish, those races that have that finish, they go to cool places.
Yeah. No, I love it. I think it's super cool.
Then
Baccarati, what are we doing? An IMOCA or a Class 40 or the 50? What are we doing? Where's the Baccarati?
Based on the financials,
we're doing a mini.
We're doing
a virtual regatta.
No, we can't even afford that. We're on the mini globe race. We're on with Don.
Our 580's arriving.
Yeah. We have to nick some plywood from somewhere.
There's some out the back of the boatyard still. We'll use that.
So that was actually going to be my last topic for Hot Topics.
Yeah.
Was the Globe 580, but I'll get back to you in about 4 weeks, all right?
Yeah, I think
when things start getting interesting.
Yeah, they're underway, aren't they? They're bobbing around.
That's what they're doing, bobbing around.
Yeah, bobbing around.
It's like what and no disrespect, we love Don. So if he hears this, if he hears this, just and all the people that are building these boats, no disrespect at all, just for the purposes of a joke. You're just about the same as watching somebody throw a bunch of corks in the water and watch them bounce along for a bit, isn't it?
I would concur.
Except you're...
I've actually spoken to Don a few times in the last few weeks. One whilst he's at sea.
Of course.
to when he was in Lanzarote, about to head off. And the enthusiasm, there's something about someone being at sea it doesn't matter what it is, what sort of boat it is, but just loves it, absolutely loves it. And the other guys involved in the race and doing the race as well, the same thing.
Well, we've said it a few times the last couple of weeks. It's the community thing. That's what they've built, a community. They've all got.
They've built a community, but there's something to be said for just being at sea, just turning everything off.
In a financially viable way too.
Despite, Franck and Charles doing 750 miles a day, and these guys doing 150 miles a day, or 100 miles.
Not even. That's a mini.
But that's they're just loving it, loving life.
It'd be good. Who was our mate that gave us that idea last week with the budget?
Old mate. Yeah.
Name escapes me.
100 grand. The 100 grand budget. Maybe make it an offshore boat. Like that'd be really interesting, and just to see what turns up, and put it into something like the TJV. I'd be intrigued to see what sort of comes up. What does the mini? The mini's not going to run you that much for the series boat, is it, BP?
What are we talking? Australian, US dollars, or what are we talking here? That 100,000
Australian for ships and giggles.
A brand new one, you'd be at that. That'll be your cutoff. That'll be your limit.
Right. Okay.
By the time you got sales.
But you get to experiment with your ideas and designs and stuff. I think that'd be interesting. Anyway, cool. Anything else, boss? That's it?
No, that's it from my side.
Very cool.
Just a couple of interesting discussion points for you, lads. Obviously, right now, it's the final day and it's live on the internet, the 49er FX and NACRA Worlds in Oman, about to go into the gold medal race, which is obviously a bit of interest. It's a pretty barren field. Obviously, there's still plenty of talent there, but it's just a small field. Coming up is the Youth Sailing Worlds in Oman again, December 11th. So that'll be interesting for a lot of people. One thing for you lads, see what you think about this. Sail Queensland next weekend is on, right? And there's wingdinger racing.
Yes.
So, our theory that the Olympic classes, with the falling kiteboards and stuff being replaced by the wingdingers, could it be tested here? I'll be intrigued to go down and see how many wingdingers are out there, which is a brand new class, versus how many falling kiteboards are there.
Well, I've got to say, every Thursday night at Wallara, they're out there with an organised race course.
Oh, are they?
Yep, the dingers. Absolutely. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
With one Dave Belly Bell, who gets a mention, he's putting all together, and it's actually getting a lot of traction. So,
the other one I'll just bring up is our mate John Schaefer, who's probably our most rabid fan, I think, is probably the best way to describe him. Sent us I think he misunderstands the Go the Rainbow hashtag because he's got a rainbow asymmetric kite on his boat. I think it's his boat, but basically he sent us some video, and he set a new speed record on his boat, 11.3 knots. So big congratulations to you, John.
Congratulations, John.
Well done, John. Good effort.
Racing is on fire.
It's she's a big, heavy one, I think.
Fire.
It's full air conditioning, fridges, freezers, movie cinema, the whole thing, I think, going around. Then the other interesting one that I wanted to bring up, lads, is it looks like, and we need to discuss this, it looks like all three of us are going to be in Sydney for Sail GP.
Correct?
Is that correct?
Correct.
BP, you're there.
You're there. Well, so then it's up to us.
I'm definitely there.
It's possible on here.
I'm 100% certain I'm there, unless the borders are closed down. But I got my ticket. So maybe what we should do, as an idea, I've for the Sunday after the racing is maybe we go to the front bar of some yacht club and do a live recording of bar karate. That could be fun.
Isn't the racing just Friday, Saturday?
Friday, Saturday, yeah.
So on the what are we saying? On the Saturday?
On the Sunday, I'm saying...
Oh, on the Sunday, yeah.
On the Sunday after all the racing.
Oh, yeah, copy.
Yeah.
Well, I know a few venues.
I'm sure you do. We'll have to work out how to make that work. But we might just do that bit of audience participation, have a bit of a laugh, a few beers. Good fun. Happy days.
Sounds like a plan.
It's
Like it. So, BP, you'll put a few places up for us.
I will
for
do that.
any of the listeners out there who are locals within the Sydney area.
Now, there's a good idea,
and are
Bossy.
members of clubs, feel free to reach out, cheers@barkarate.com.
Do you want us at your club on Sunday?
Give us a few ideas.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Bossy. Get them to call in and say, we'll have you.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Okay, that's it from me.
It from me.
That's it from you as well, BP. Mm-hmm. You don't have... What about X2s? How are you going? Boats?
Hull 1 coming out of the tool next Friday.
Oh, big.
Big moment, as you probably have
We're
noticed.
excited
It's sort
for
of
it, BP.
very, very, very hectic at the moment. A lot of headspace. So yeah, it is coming out of the tool next Friday, and yeah, that's it.
Cool. We're looking forward to it. I think a lot of people.
Yeah, we certainly are.
Yeah.
And BP,
Yes,
just
my friend.
just to clear the slate here, by bringing up the Aeolus last week,
Yes.
by all means, the X2 and the Aeolus aren't even close to being in the same class. Okay. So
But
it's got nothing to...
as with any person in this industry, you always support and help each other out as much as you can. So no comment on my behalf, and good on them for doing what they did. How's that for an answer?
Bravo.
All right, lads. It's a shame I always hate this bit where we sign off because I feel like, we could just sit here and talk, although we do often just sit here and talk after we hang up. But it should be, it's good
All
fun.
good.
Guess
Great
we
night.
got to get BP to get his little slide guitar.
I'll
And
just go and get it. I think I just have to quickly tune it up. The girls were playing it today.
Do you use like a shot glass as the slide?
No, it is actually a glass tube.
glass tube.
It slides onto the ring finger and off you go.
Yeah. Warm it up, my friend.
All right.
Okay.
Where do you want me to start?
How about now?
Okay. See, the drummer's good because he knows when to start all the time too.